Hey there, kiddos, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Frank, hoping that you are having a great day, and in today's video, I'm sitting back, that's right, in the very squeaky chair, relaxing and having a little conversation with all of you guys about, well, I'm going to be honest. Originally, this video was going to be about Pokemon, and there's a good reason for that. Basically, I've been eyeballing recent Pokemon boxes and have been noticing a specific trend with three sets in particular: Pitch Black, Chaos Rising, and Perfect Order. And the trend is downwards. That's right, these are all downwards facing boxes, downwards moving boxes in terms of price, with Pitch Black, the newest set, hovering around 200, Chaos Rising also hovering around 190 to 200, and Perfect Order, a set that absolutely nobody wants, nobody loves, it's going to zero, currently sitting at 170, which is big news because that means that, at the very least for these specific sets and a few other side products, Pokemon is no longer going to the moon. That's right. Some of these boxes are trending downwards, which means the bubble has popped, the hype is over, the collapse is here. For Pokemon, at least. And for that, by that I mean, I have to wonder, as Pokemon products, at least some Pokemon products, not all Pokemon products, but as some boxes decline in value and people are getting out of Pokemon, you have to wonder where the money's going. And, you have to look to the rest of the TCG world to see if there's anything else out there that is gobbling up some of the cash. And there is a lot of really exciting stuff to look at out in the world of TCGs beyond the Pokemon space. There's Flesh and Blood and Magic the Gathering have both made some pretty big announcements today. Go look into that. There's a lot of stuff in both of those TCGs worth being excited about. There's some really cool stuff on the horizon for Yu-Gi-Oh! That I'm personally very excited about. And, well, there's some big news in this other card game. You guys might have heard about it, called Lorcana. Because, yeah, today's video is actually about Disney's Lorcana, specifically a release that happened today for the game. Because, yeah, that entire first section of the video was a bait and switch. This is a Lorcana video today. You see, last month, Ravensburger announced a new product coming to market called the Curator's Collection Heroines Edition. Yeah, this is a special, limited, ancillary product that was exclusive to Disney stores and Disney parks around the globe. A special kind of product that's only available in limited numbers. Quite the product, too, because a Heroines Edition already has your ears perked, especially if you've been paying attention to One Piece lately. And this special box has 6 cards in it, priced at Secret Lair rates, because it is $99.99 for the package. Wild stuff right there. But regardless of what I think about a box of 6 cards priced at $100, the market definitely seemed to think that this was worthwhile picking up. Because from what I understand, today was release day. And from what I saw online, it basically sold out instantly everywhere it was being sold. Some fun anecdotes there too. Apparently there was a Disney store like in London or something that was going to be selling the product, but I guess a fight broke out with some scalpers or whatever. And so the staff in the London store decided, no, we're not selling this today. Everybody go home. So there's that. That's a fun little story there of individuals ruining it for everybody. But yeah, this is definitely a hot item. And it's so hot, in fact, that it's on eBay already. Today's release day, and it's on eBay, and it's selling. Now, remember what I said. $99.99. That's what Lorcana was selling this for. It is selling at $400 to $450, which is absolutely nuts, and it's just really hard to conceive of someone paying $400 for 6 cards that don't even look that nice. My unbiased and unfiltered opinion right here is, I looked at them. They have definitely a aesthetic choice to them, and they don't appeal to me one bit. But I suppose at $100, it wouldn't have mattered if they looked amazing. I probably wouldn't have spent that money on them. I'm a cheapskate when it comes to that kind of thing. But this just goes to show that, sure, a specialty set quadrupling in price on the secondary market. That's nothing to write home about. It's not exactly big news. Anyone could see that coming, right? But the fact that it's selling at that crazy price tag and that people are still lurching for more, not just of this specialty set, but of other Lorcana stuff, singles and sealed product alike, it shows that there is really a lot of love for this game. And now that Lorcana has proven itself, it also shows that a lot of people are moving away from other TCG properties into the world of Lorcana, especially now that it's, like I said, a bit more stable as a TCG, and there's a lot less uncertainty about its future, because, trust me, for a bit there was quite a lot of uncertainty for Lorcana's immediate future. Attack of the Vine, it's not even out yet. That's like next week's set, and it is selling like hotcakes on TCG Player and eBay. Several are going, over 10 are selling a day for a box, which is pretty great, all things considered. It's being bought in droves on TCG Player and eBay. I'm seeing a lot of sales there too. And there's lots of cool stuff in the set, including some really smack-dang awesome iconic cards. People are definitely putting their money into the Disney game, including people that 6 months ago were telling me to my face, basically, that no, they're not going to be spending money on anything that's not Pokemon. Pokemon's the game for them. They're the biggest Pokemon fans ever. They've only ever been a fan of Pokemon. They're not going to spend money on Magic or Star Wars or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or anything like that, because they're only in it for Pokemon. That's the only card game they care about. And here we are a few months later, and they just can't seem to get enough Lorcana. And they don't really seem to want any Pokemon stuff. Weird how that works out. So, of course, there's the big question. Do I think, in my opinion, is Lorcana a good game to park your money into, to invest in? Because is Lorcana gonna stick around? Will it last? Well, I don't know about parking your money in it. I don't know about investing in it. But I can definitely say with some certainty that I do think Lorcana will last. And today's release and instant buyout and instant quadrupling on the secondary market just helps to further hammer that point home. You see, Lorcana is, at its core, a good game with nice core gameplay, strong fundamentals, and a lot of variety in terms of available deck types, which are things that all kinds of people are looking for in a game that they want to play. It's got a strong collectible aspect, not just the regular cards, but also the enchanted and iconic cards. There's a lot of people who are, for better or worse, Disney adults with disposable income who are happy to spend that disposable income on shiny cardboard. Good for them, and Lorcana happens to have the cardboard that they want. It's an all-star IP. Disney is one of the most recognizable brands on Earth. Like it or hate it. Like the cartoons, hate the live-action movies. However you feel about it, however you feel about Bob Iger and all that jazz, and who's in charge? Is it Bob? No, it's not Bob, right? I forget. They had a CEO change like last year or the year before. I don't keep up with this kind of stuff. You guys can tell that I'm a well-informed individual. But regardless of how you feel about Disney or the Disney brand or the theme parks or anything like that, it's definitely a popular franchise. It's a popular word. Everybody knows Disney. Every person my age grew up watching Disney films, and that definitely adds to the appeal a bit. There's never going to be every human on the planet looking to pick up a new TCG, but you tell a Disney adult, you tell some 35-year-old man or some 50-year-old man my age that there's it's a popular one. Ooh, where's it go? There's a Chernobog card for Disney. You liked Fantasia? That was the That was the musical he was in, right? Fantasia? Yeah, I think so. You like Chernobog? Well, there's a Chernobog card in Lorcana, and that appeals to people. There are people who will go out of the way to buy one or two cards just because it's a character they like, a character they recognize from a movie that they loved as a kid. It's the same thing in sports. You know, there are people who are not sports fans, they're not big sports cards fans, but they are fans of a specific team, and they'll buy a card for their favorite players of that team. That's part of what keeps the sports card industry so robust. Is sports in general, baseball in general, is a huge uh, it's a huge kind of event almost where loads of people will turn out just to watch a game, and they'll have their favorites, and because they have their favorites, cards can sell. It's the same thing with Lorcana. And because of that, I believe Lorcana will be here for the long haul now. Now that it's past its growing pains, and now that it's past some of its more interesting choices, I definitely think that Lorcana, as long as it's handled well, you know, stipulation, as long as they don't mess it up, I think Lorcana could last quite a while. In fact, I think it could pull off what Pokemon has pulled off in the last 20 years, where it has its ups and downs, but it still has its diehard fans at the center. Pokemon has, obviously, Pokemon fans at the center, keeping it up with collectors and investors and flyby players, showing up from time to time to rise the entire market ecosystem of Pokemon through the roof, and then leaving, driving it back downwards. I think Lorcana could have something like that, where it goes up and down, but it sticks around regardless of where it's at on the pendulum, basically. You know, I could definitely foresee Lorcana being the kind of game that, in 10 years from now, I definitely foresee people saying, yeah, the big four: Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Lorcana. Or Magic, Pokemon, Lorcana, and Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, that sounds right. Anyway, for now, Lorcana seems like an all-star. It's definitely a card game that has turned around, like I said before on the channel. I definitely think that it's doing better now than I thought it would have. So, that's all I got to say. Well, of course, besides the fact that, yeah, there's people out there spending $450 on 6 cards. I hope it's worth it for you guys. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, that's really all I got. Please like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Do you agree with me? Do you think Lorcana's going to stick around forever? Do you disagree with me? Do you think Lorcana's going to die tomorrow? And what do you guys think about the Heroines Edition? Let me know. Talk to you guys later. Ciao.